Welcome to the Thriving in Her Purpose podcast with Krystle Austin, life coach, counselor, author, and speaker. I help purpose-driven women who are on the cusp of pursuing their vision, but struggling to overcome barriers holding them back and realize their value, worth, and identity so that they thrive in their purpose. Hey, wonderful people. And I say that with a prayer that you actually believe that you are wonderful because you are. Now, there is so much I've learned about myself and about life over the last couple of years, and it's crazy how much you grow through the struggles and difficulties in life, right? But I'm grateful for my faith in order to get me on track. Sometimes, no matter who you are, you can get knocked off balance. You are taken off track. But that foundation of faith helped keep my head focused and my feet walking in the right direction, no matter how slow I went or the stumbles that happened along the way. In society, we have such an emphasis on keep pushing, keep going, keep pushing forward. And I'm all for that. I believe in keeping your eye on the goal. But sometimes society is like, toughen up, suck it up. There's no time to cry about it. There's no time to rest. Keep grinding. Well, I believe in keep going forward. I believe we need to do more of giving ourselves some grace. That's why I named this episode Pushing with Grace. When we go through hard things in life, I believe it is important to keep focus forward. If you are a person who has goals and is serious about them, or if you desire to live the best life you can and a life of excellence. But anyone who is struggling and falls back a bit, you can, with the grace of God, turn that around too, and then keep moving forward. However, there's room for grace. So give yourself some grace. When you're going through hard things, don't feel like you need to ignore what you are going through or suppress it, or think it does not serve any purpose to slow down or rest in the midst of your crisis. I know for me, and I share this in the book project that I'm part of, which will be coming out soon. When my life got turned upside down last year, I had so many other responsibilities to still take care of. I had to move. I was working full time. I was taking care of everything financially and tons of debt. And during that summer, I was gearing up for getting the kids prepared to go back to school. I was getting the paperwork done, school clothes, school supplies, going to parent meetings by myself. And it was my youngest daughter's first time going to school ever. She was going to be going to pre-K. So I was stressed about my family situation, my husband not being around, handling things on my own, making sure everything gets done. And on top of that, being emotional about my baby going to school. I was on autopilot. I was not taking care of myself. I was pushing. I got through it all, but I pushed so much that I neglected myself to a point that I just crashed. I had a breakdown in my counselor's office, and tears were just flowing. I was there for everyone else and pushing through. I was doing what I needed to do, but dealing with so much on top of that at the same time. So it is important to take care of yourself too by giving yourself some grace. I also believe it's important for you to acknowledge that you are going through a difficult time. Don't pretend that everything is okay. My counselor at one point told me, Krystle, you are going through a lot. You need to self-care. Even that validation from someone saying you are going through a lot gave me some relief. Because like I said earlier, the world will have you thinking, suck it up. This is life. Do what you got to do. There is no time to complain or cry or talk about it even. You just need to grind it out. So that's life. But someone saying that you are going through a lot feels like someone sees you. It feels like a relief and that someone understands. And what I mean by give yourself some grace is to interact with yourself with goodness and kindness. That includes taking time to breathe, to meditate, to talk to someone, to spend time with a friend to decompress, whatever that looks like for you. That's what I should have done. Also, it's not a competition of who has it worse. You don't have to compare your hardship or crisis to another person's. Yeah, we can always find someone who is worse off, but that doesn't mean you have to stuff down your feelings concerning what you were going through. I have an issue with that. And I've always had an issue with that. And I actually shared that with some people in my community recently. I have a problem with not giving yourself permission to feel and process what you are going through. I believe in certain communities, including Christians, we don't allow ourselves to process our feelings because we believe we have to present ourselves as always okay. And there are 3 things I hear at times, even said to myself when going through something challenging or difficult, and I had to catch myself. One thing is saying, I'm blessed, and I'm not in that bad of a situation like them, so I don't have the right to feel the way I feel. I just need to get over it. Or, don't feel that way because you are so blessed. Or, having these feelings will gain me nothing, so why bother? But like I said, I've always had a problem with that. And in this time in the world where we are so focused on you have to stay positive, we miss the opportunity to deal with the feelings we need to deal with and the root of those feelings. So instead, what do? We just bury it. And I believe, like I said, in focusing on the positive, I'm an optimist, and I've always been that way. I believe in focusing on your blessings, and I will continue to promote having a positive attitude and having a positive mindset. However, we still need to allow ourselves to feel and heal as human beings. But we put up a mask and we try to make people believe that everything is okay. We say, I'm blessed, or I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm okay. Things are fine. Instead, we can say, yes, I'm blessed, but I'm still struggling and having a hard time with this. What has been on my heart more recently is transparency, allowing others to see what I'm going through, what you are going through, and overcoming these struggles you've had will help others. Trying to make people believe that we are always fine and our lives are perfect hinders others because they believe they have to reach this spotless way of life that's really unattainable. And I believe as Christians, we have to be careful about that because people will be hesitant about coming to Christ because they feel like they have to have their lives in a certain way before accepting Christ in their lives. And we don't have to compete or compare how bad of a situation we are going through to someone else's situation. We don't have to dwell on the things that we are going through and the sadness or anger, the things that we're going through in those kind of ways. But we can allow ourselves to feel. We can allow ourselves to process those things. Even Jesus was sad, right? He wept. And we can refer to John chapter 11 and verse 35. And at another time, Jesus probably was going through a range of emotions. He was going through when he asked God to take this cup away from him, but let his will be done. And I'm referring to in Luke chapter 22 and verse 42. He says, Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Take the time to go read that whole chapter. Don't bury your feelings. Feel your feelings. Don't dwell on them, but allow yourself to process them. It will help you now and in the future. So why am I sharing this? How is this relevant? You will not be able to fully and confidently walk in your purpose with brokenness and baggage. Pushing things back and to the side will ultimately catch up with you, along with pushing forward without addressing your needs. So allow yourself to process it, heal it, and release it. Get the support you need to do so. Ask God to help you along the way. Something I have learned more and more since I've been sharing my story is that everyone is going through something. Most people just don't want to talk about it. Most people don't want to be vulnerable. And two important things about sharing your story, your testimony, is people can see what and how you've overcome, and it inspires them and it empowers them. Also, it helps people realize they are not alone. Someone else may be going through something similar as you, and they can see that and know they are not alone. So I say, keep pushing, but push with grace. Allow yourself to slow down and process what is going on in your life. You may have to take a break. Sometimes your body will tell you that you need to take a break and force you to take that break. But taking a break and allowing yourself to do so shows strength and growth because you recognize it and are following what you need. And if you feel okay with still pushing forward, remember that small steps forward, that's still progress. So don't force it. Do what you can do at the moment in time in your life and push with grace. If you are a woman who has been striving to walk in your purpose but struggling to overcome barriers holding you back, reach out to me. To connect with me, you can find me on Facebook at Krystle Austin, that is Krystle, and on Instagram at I am_Krystle Austin. Send me a DM if you want to chat or discuss more about working with me. I'd love to